It says best in your mouth, not in the cellar. Drink it while it's fresh, okay?
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a not-so 3-minute beer review. I'm here with Ryan Shenyan.
Hey.
My smoke brother from a smoked mother.
That's right.
That sounds wrong. Last time we were here, we were talking about smoked beers that we had made. Today, we're doing a quick tasting note on a beer that Ryan muled or hogged
Yes.
for me. This is Venn Brewing Company's Hawaiian Hog. They're calling it a smoked wheat with pineapple. I talked to Kyle Cisco, head brewer, owner, co-owner, founder.
Started Venn Brewing Company.
All the things.
Gotta say hey to Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ryan. This is basically, per Kyle, a Grodzicki with pineapple. Not super complicated. Oak smoked wheat, Pilsner malt. He says no hops. I don't know if that's literal or just kind of like not to speak of, but no hops. Clean ale yeast hit with 100% pineapple puree post-fermentation. So we've got some smoke, we've got some fruit. And you say it smells like the pizza.
I will say, when I first cracked a can, poured it in a glass, took a nice whiff of the aroma, the first thing that my mind thought of was Hawaiian pizza. The smoke comes through. It's still pretty subtle, but it gives you that kind of Canadian bacon kind of essence. And then obviously the pineapple is really the star of the show in this beer, which is great. So yeah, definitely every time I smell it, it's Hawaiian pizza time.
And I feel like that smoke, to your point, the pineapple is like the front, middle, and even kind of the ending star of the show. But the real ending of the show, to me, like it lingers just smoky.
It does.
Which is nice. It's kind of like a little bitter, maybe even from that acidity of the pineapple and the bitterness of that smoke. But to me, when I just sit with it now, I'm like, almost feel like I'm aspirating a little slight wood smoke. So that's cool. It's clearly not 100% oak smoked wheat like a Grodzicki would be, because he mentions the Pilsner malt.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you kind of describing kind of how the mouthfeel and the finish is. It is really interesting because when you first get it, I feel like you get the lush pineapple really hits first. Yeah. And then the acidity kind of starts coming through. And then it finishes really relatively dry, all things considered, because like the smoke is coming in and kind of the undercurrent that's kind of finishing everything off. And it does. It's got this nice complexity to it.
The can has a pig in a Hawaiian shirt. He seems to be grilling, charring, roasting a pineapple. So when I first heard this beer, I was wondering, like, oh, did they smoke the pineapple? Like I was saying, a friend of mine makes a smoked peach Hefeweizen, where he actually puts the peaches on a smoker, and then that goes into the beer. I don't know that any of the malt is actually smoked. And then I was also mentioning, I did an article for Northern Brewer last year on Kegged cocktails, and I developed my own cocktail called the Pineapple Popper, and it ended up being, X amount part water, pineapple juice, mezcal, and then this homemade simple syrup I made of 3 peppers, jalapeno, chili de árbol, chipotle, and that's where like heat and smoke, the spritziness, the pineapple, then a little bit of smoke also from the mezcal. This kind of reminds me of that without quite as much smoke and definitely no heat. There's
For sure, right? Absolutely, 100%. And I will say, I'm very pleased with this beer. I would say, congrats to Kyle at Venn and the rest of the crew over there. They did a really tasty, delicious beer and a really unique, interesting concept. You don't see a lot of fruited smoked beers, at least that I've come across. So let's see some more of those. How about that?
Because of that, I would dare to say this might be the most approachable or entry-level smoked beer ever, because it really comes across as more of a fruit beer on that first sip and many of the other sips until the end, and then the 100%. Smoke is not offensive at all.
Right. And what I like about this for a fruit beer is it does have that complexity, because like we were talking about, it's not just all sugary sweet fruit flavor. There's a little bit more going on with the smoke kind of coming through and kind of changing the palate a little bit. So I love the complexity of this beer. So I would love to see more beers like this.
It's also got like the soul of a Pilsner, but with none of the bitterness.
Yeah.
Like I keep tasting little hints of German Pils and Czech Pils, but I'm like, but it only goes to this far. Right. And then these other flavors wash over it.
They just knock it out.
Hawaiian Hog, this week in Rauchbier. Shout out to our friends over there. Ryan, shout out to you for Hogging
Happy
two 4-packs and keeping one.
Great beer. Go get some.
Hog for hog, route for route.
Chop for chop.
Brew for.
Ooh.
I wonder what this pig's name is. What would you think if that was like a true logo or character?
Dole,
it's Oinker.
Dole. You call him Dole the pig.
Dole. Dole.
Yeah.
Dole the pig.